Pro, and today we're going to talk about bookkeeping and record keeping in your business. I cannot stress enough the importance of bookkeeping in your business. It is important for a number of different things. One, when you do not have bookkeeping in your business, you are most likely paying too much in taxes. So that's generally what kind of makes the point hit home for a lot of small business owners. If I go into a business owner that does not have good bookkeeping, and we try to file off of those records, or we start looking at their books and we start asking questions, we generally find where potential revenue has been double counted, where they have missed expenses that need to be claimed, and sometimes it results in 5 figures of tax savings, just not having good bookkeeping. I know that you guys went into business in order to do what you're doing in your business, in order to make money, in order to grow. And you guys are probably like, I didn't go into business to be a bookkeeper. Totally get that. It's worth it because it saves you money. Okay? Bookkeeping is extremely important. It is also one of the things that the IRS is going to look at if they come in and they do a hobby loss audit, or if they come in and they want to do an audit of specific accounts. They are going to look at your bookkeeping system. It is required if you end up doing some sort of government contracting at any point in time. You may be subject to audits of your bookkeeping system. If you ever want to sell the business, your books are going to directly impact how that business is going to be valued. If you want to bring on investors, if you want to get a loan, if you want to do anything, your books are important. Okay, I cannot express enough the number of small business owners that come to us that do not have sufficient bookkeeping. And it doesn't have to be expensive. So I have a lot of business owners that are like, we just don't want to have to do that or pay for it, or it's too expensive for us to do it. It does not have to be expensive. I've pulled up a couple of different options here. I'm going to go through these options. I'm going to explain them to you, and then I'm going to go over what options fit different businesses, okay? First option that I don't have pulled up here is just on a spreadsheet, okay? You can keep records on a spreadsheet for certain types of businesses, and that can count as your bookkeeping. There are downsides to doing your bookkeeping on spreadsheets. So in general, if you have a partnership, if you have an S corporation, or if you have a C corporation, spreadsheets are not sufficient because you have to have a system that does double entry accounting and with which you can generate a proper balance sheet. Because a partnership, S corporation and C corporation, those tax returns require balance sheets oftentimes. And even if you are small enough to where you do not have to submit a balance sheet, there are calculations that happen that rely on data from balance sheets, okay? So if you're a partnership, an S corporation or a C corporation, spreadsheets don't work because you have to have some form of double entry accounting. Could you set up double entry in a spreadsheet? Yeah, you could. The amount of time that it's going to take you to manage that system, your time should be worth more than what it would pay for you to have a bookkeeping software, okay, that does double entry accounting. It should be. So you can use a spreadsheet. I only recommend using a spreadsheet if you're a sole proprietorship. And if you are a sole proprietorship and you're using a spreadsheet, you really also need to make sure that you are keeping track of certain balance sheet items. Okay, things like assets, things like liabilities. I would really, really encourage you to not utilize a spreadsheet. I will give you tools if you choose to go that route, but there are free options that make using a spreadsheet not worth it, okay? One of the free options that we have is Wave Apps, which is what is pulled up on the screen right now. Wave Apps does have paid solutions, but it also has a free solution. It is extremely common in like micro businesses or very small businesses to use Wave. Okay, I have videos on Wave on my YouTube channel. If you guys have questions about Wave, let me know. It is a great tool for small businesses. You will eventually outgrow it if you grow. Okay, so it's not a like long-term permanent solution, but it is a great solution to start with. It is a double entry system. You can do profit and losses and you can do balance sheets on Wave, okay? It is limited. So there are limitations to Wave. There's limitations to a lot of the programs I'm gonna show you, okay? Wave's a great resource though. So this is Wave, it's waveapps.com. There's different things that you can do with Wave. They're constantly adding to Wave. It is a really nice program. So there is a free option, so you can always go with the starter plan. It is $0 a month, so you can get started on that double entry accounting system for free with Wave. I much, much, much prefer Wave than a spreadsheet. If you don't have a budget for a bookkeeping system, please get Wave instead of a spreadsheet. It really makes life so much easier. So it is free. If you wanted to pay monthly, the pro plan is $16 a month, okay? Wave is a great option. I'm not gonna go into all of the different features here, just because I'm gonna try to quickly go through some different options and show you pricing points. And I don't want this video to be super long, but you can have estimates, invoices, bills, and you can do your bookkeeping through here. You can accept online payments through here, but you don't have to. And then you can invoice through here, okay? Now, if you go with the pro version, you can also import bank transactions, you can merge and categorize bank transactions automatically, and you can track your receipts and all of that good stuff in here, okay? Wave's a great option. It's a good starter program. It's really nice. Now, what most people have probably heard of is Quickbooks. Quickbooks has an online version and a desktop version, okay? The Quickbooks Desktop version is like it kind of almost feels like a little bit of a dinosaur when you go in and use it. The desktop version is the most robust version of Quickbooks. The online version, however, is cloud-based, and I should back up. Wave over here is cloud-based, okay? So anywhere that you have an internet connection, you can use Wave. You can use Wave on your phone, you can use Wave on a tablet, you can use it on a computer, as long as you have an internet connection, okay? Now, QuickBooks Online is also cloud-based. QuickBooks Desktop is not. You can get QuickBooks Desktop hosted, but QuickBooks Desktop is not cloud-based. It is literally an app that goes on your computer, okay? Some people don't want a cloud-based system because of internet connectivity issues. QuickBooks Desktop is not cloud-based. QuickBooks Online is. QuickBooks is made by Intuit, and Intuit is moving everybody to QuickBooks Online, okay? Downsides to QuickBooks Online is it has a lot of downtime, and Intuit loves price increases. Hate to say it that way. It's an extremely, extremely popular software. They love price increases. So this is what you're looking at price-wise. This is 50% though of that price. So for example, like Plus used to be, I think, $65 a month, and we're now looking at $99 a month, okay? So, and that price increase happened over a couple of years. There's a couple of different options here. There's the Simple Start, there is Plus, and there's Advanced. This is online, so these are all online versions. Just make sure that you're looking at the price up here, like this $235, not this $117.50 per month. There's a lot of different features in QuickBooks Online. So QuickBooks Online is probably one of the most robust online accounting platforms for small businesses, okay? It's really good. Downsides to QuickBooks Online, it has a lot of downtime. They roll out updates, so like they'll roll out updates to small groups, and then they'll increase the group that's using that system, and then they'll increase it until they get complaints, and then they fix the bugs. So it can be buggy. It is constantly being updated, and it is supported by Intuit, which is a fairly large company in our industry, okay? QuickBooks Online, a lot of people use it. It's not my favorite, but it is a good solution, okay? QuickBooks Desktop, on the other hand, it's really got a lot of meat behind it. It is a great, great program. They are pushing everybody off of QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online. It is far more expensive, okay? However, it has a lot of great inventory capability. So QuickBooks Desktop is a great option. Unfortunately, it's not going to be, I don't want to say it's not going to be around for a long time. I think it will be around. I think the price point will make it to the only people who are on it are those who need it for the features, and they're going to charge for those features. It's going to get more and more expensive. They're pushing people off of desktop to online. So unless you are a business that can afford a hefty fee for an accounting software, desktop's probably not going to be a good fit for you. And honestly, if you can afford a hefty fee for a desktop software, you got a lot of other options. So that's QuickBooks, very popular. Xero, that I just popped off of here, Xero is another option. Xero is a interesting program. It has a little bit of a learning curve. If you are used to, programs that are like QuickBooks, it's got a little bit of a learning curve. It doesn't have nearly the downtime that QuickBooks Online has. It also has affordable pricing. So right here, like you've got $20 per month, $47 per month for this growing option, and then $80 per month for established. I like Xero. One of the things I don't like about Xero is it's really hard to get a hold of a person for support right when you need them. Okay, so don't love Xero for that, but Xero is a great option. Right here, I thought maybe it was going to have, here we go, compare plans and pricing. So this is going to give you some information about what you can get here. You can send invoices and you can enter bills through it, okay? It can handle multiple currencies, and it can handle, various like W-9, 1099 management, that kind of thing, okay? Xero is a great option for small businesses. It is a good option for small businesses. I do like Xero. It is cloud-based, so if you don't have a good internet connection, Xero might not be a good fit for you. So we've talked about Wave, QuickBooks Online, and Xero. Now I'm going to throw in two other ones that are a little kind of like odd ducks that you may not have heard of. One of them is Odoo. Odoo is kind of a newer one that we've been using. It is got a lot of apps. So Odoo is from Germany, so it's not US-based program, and it has all of these different applications that you can utilize. It's not just an accounting software. So it's got a finance, accounting, invoicing, expenses, etc. It's got an HR set of apps. It's got sales. It's got websites, supply chain, marketing, services, productivity. It has all of these different apps in it. And the pricing is pretty competitive. So when it comes to Odoo, you can get one app for free, okay? Or you can get all of the apps for $24.90. Which originally it was $31.10. So eventually this will, let me go to the monthly pricing. It's actually $38.90 when you look at the monthly pricing. And then if you wanted to do like multi-company, you can do this custom option, okay? The multi-company is kind of nice because you can put multiple companies in there and you're not paying. Like for example, if you have QuickBooks Online and you have 4 different EINs, so you have 4 different companies, you're paying for 4 different files, right? 4 different QuickBooks files. With Odoo, you pay for 1. Now this is per user per month. So if you have a lot of users, you have to factor that in. But with Odoo, you pay for 1 and you can put 4 companies in it. I should also back up and say QuickBooks Desktop is the same. You can put as many EINs in here as you want. They may change that in the future. Okay, so with Odoo, this is the pricing on Odoo. Odoo has a learning curve. Odoo's a little weird. So we're producing videos for Odoo. We'll have some how-to videos, but it's kind of confusing when you first go to set it up. Odoo's not as intuitive as like QuickBooks Online and Xero, and they kind of have this model where they want you to work with a partner. So Odoo can be a little bit weird, but it's a great program and it's got a lot of different apps that could potentially replace other systems that you're paying for. Odoo's a good one to look at. And then Sage. Sage is a great resource. Let me kind of back up here. This is Sage 50 is kind of what we're looking at. Sage has so many different products, okay? So Sage has all these different items, Sage 50, Sage HR and Payroll. Sage has all these different accounting solutions, okay? And Sage 50 is the small business one. Now, when it comes to Sage 50, let's kind of take a look at the pricing. This is what you're looking at pricing-wise, okay? So this is desktop accounting with cloud access. This gives you one user. This gives you 1 to 5, and this gives you 1 to 40, okay? Sage is a great option, especially as you grow, all right? So Sage is a good option as well. So to kind of recap, what we have is, yes, you can use a spreadsheet. Please don't. If you are a partnership, an S corporation or a C corporation, you should not be using a spreadsheet. You just should not. If you're a sole proprietorship, you could probably make a spreadsheet work, but I don't really understand the point when there's free programs out there. Okay, please just make life easier on yourself. Use a double entry accounting system program. You will want a double entry accounting system program. If you have to get lending, if you ever sell the business, if you get investors, etc. Please, please, please stop using spreadsheets. Wave is a great option. There is a free option on Wave. It is a starter plan. They keep adding features. So eventually I might not feel that way to say, you know, it's a starter plan. But Wave is a great place to start. It's double entry and you can do it for free. Xero is a great option. It is cost efficient. It is cloud-based, as is Wave. Xero has less downtime than alternatives like Quickbooks Online. Quickbooks Online, however, like all the apps connect to it. It is a very, very popular system for small businesses. It is extremely popular. Downside is they are constantly increasing pricing. And customer support is not great in all reality. Quickbooks Desktop is like an old school solution that people are going to get pushed off of desktop onto online just because they make more money off of online. Desktop has some features that online just doesn't have. So desktop is a great option for certain businesses that need that, but as a long-term solution, I've been questioning more and more what the price increase is going to move to. Okay, it's costly. Odoo is a cloud-based option. It is interesting new program. It's from Germany. It's got a ton of apps. Very, very kind of interesting model that they have. Sage is a massive company that handles a large number of different businesses. Oops, I guess I had to scroll down instead of up. This is the pricing that you're looking at for Sage. Sage is desktop with cloud access, so it still connects to the cloud. Okay, Sage is a great option. All of these are double entry accounting systems, and I really, really recommend having a double entry accounting system. So you have a lot of options. We're gonna have videos on all of these. We don't have videos on all of them yet. Whatever you go with, these are great options. Just try to go, there's a ton of systems out there for bookkeeping. Try to go to ones that have a good reputation in the accounting industry. You can go find like these obscure bookkeeping and accounting programs. In all reality though, if you ever move to working with a bookkeeper or a tax accountant, you want one that they understand and that they can have access to. There's so many of them, we don't know all of them. It would be wild to try to learn all of them. We don't know them. There's just too many out there. So these are great options. Odoo is kind of an obscure one that some accountants probably don't know a lot about. Wave is kind of looked at as like, oh, it's free because it started as free. And so Wave kind of gets a bad rap, but I kind of like it, especially for beginning businesses. I think it's a really good solution. Sage, you know, if you're looking for a small business accountant, probably going to know QuickBooks in all reality. They're going to know QuickBooks. A lot of them might know Xero. But these other options are great. If you have any questions on preferred softwares, please let us know. As always, if you could please like and subscribe, it helps us keep the content coming to you for free. Really helpful for us, and I will see you guys in the next video.